All right, here we go. All right. We are currently live. There's the link. All right, let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. Every game, every era, every fan. You're listening to the Squad Sportscast. Four brothers, one mic, all sports. We like to thank y'all for episode 3. We had a time on episode 3. Oh man, we had a time on episode 3. There was a lot of good takes out there. I am still getting bombarded about this Matt Stafford issue. Game changer, game manager, still responding to this stuff. I got 2 people in TikTok shout out and I forget the other guy. Please don't forgive me when you see this, but I gotta shout y'all out. Y'all were going in on those comments. Mike had a few comments about that Josh Allen situation. They didn't like it, of course. Y'all know how they talk about their Lord and Savior Josh Allen. But we're going to get right into it. We got a lot to discuss out here. We got our 4th member, Mr. Marr. He's going to be joining us in just a bit. But let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to switch things up tonight. We're going to go with the NBA recap so far. Where is the season going so far? You know, the number 1 team, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they are defending their championship, and they are defending it well. Right now, projected number 1 in the as far as records, they have the top ranked record right now with a 3rd ranked offense, the best in the defense, 2nd for turnover rank as far as keeping the ball secure, and 11th in 3-point ranking. Then you have the Detroit Pistons, the Boston Celtics, the New York Knicks, the Houston Rockets, Denver Nuggets, the Minnesota Timberwolves, Cleveland Cavaliers, Miami Heat, and San Antonio Spurs. So that is top ranked teams. Fellas, tell me what you think about the top teams out there. Who you got your dark horse on when it comes to the playoffs? We all know this is the pre-All-Star game. So these rankings will change most likely depending on what happens after the All-Star break. So let me know what you got. What's your thoughts so far on the NBA? And who's the dark horse you got when we get out of here looking into the playoffs come April and May?
All right, all right. So I'm going first.
Yeah, Joe, you go first.
All right, so I want to go back a couple of decades ago. Old school basketball was one big thing. Good defense, back to the basket, post work, all that. You got the Detroit Pistons that stand at the top of the East, and they're well known for being that type of old school team. They got Cade Cunningham as their dual forward, who kind of runs the point, so he makes sure the ship goes. You got Jalen Durant, who's a big man who can hold the post on his own, and he's very explosive, can get to his spots. Tobias Harris, Jay Ivey, they got a bunch of young guns, and they're very well coached, and they stand at the top of the East. I think they will be a force to be reckoned with. Now, as far as 7 games, I'm not necessarily sure if they can win the East, but I think they have a good chance to. Now, a dark horse for MVP is Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics. I'm actually surprised. Like, he is literally putting the team on his back, carrying them 2nd place. I didn't think they would even touch 10th place once Jason Tatum was out. But Jaylen Brown said, "Hold my beer. I got this." He's really doing the thing, and I really commend them. It shows how well coached they are. They could put anybody in there. They could put the 15th man in there, and he'll have a 25, 30 point game, and it'll be like nothing. Like they didn't miss anything. So they're doing all right. Now in the West, OKC is going to be OKC. They have a whole lot of pieces they could put in and out, and they won't miss a beat. Once Denver comes back fully healthy with, let's say, Jokic, I think they'll be the second best team. I mean, you got Houston in the Wild Wild West with KD and Ime Udoka and their whole crowd. I wish Fred Van Vliet was still there because he would be the guard that they need to get over the top. But I think because he's not there, they'll probably miss out unless KD goes off. Golden State, they're gonna need some work. They're just gonna need some work. And with Jimmy Butler out with the ACL injury, they might as well just look towards next season and start trading. The Lakers, I'm the biggest LeBron fan, but right now they're not making any noise. They got too much dysfunction. They have too much uh, front office mess going on. They're trying to figure out what to do with Austin Reeves, whether they keep him going or to trade him. It's like the Kyle Kuzma stuff over again, just with a better player. I don't know what's going to happen with them. And the other teams, the Knicks, yes, go Knicks, orange and blue skies, but they need to get back to what was keeping them at the top of the food chain in the East earlier in the season. Stay together as a team. Don't worry about the individual numbers. I think they'll be fine. They'll be probably the top three team in the East. Everybody else is going to fall wherever they will. If you're not the Knicks, the Celtics, the Pistons, the Thunder, the Nuggets, and Rockets, and probably the Lakers, nobody's really checking for you as far as final talk goes.
I mean, you got a good recap there. Just letting you be known, I checked the as far as who's ranked out there. Lakers are kind of sixth right now. They're sixth place, even though I didn't mention them in the top 10. You got the Lakers in the sixth place right now, 26-17 record. The last four is the concerning part because 4 wins, 6 losses. But like I said, good recap so far. Like you said, you do have the Warriors right now. That Jimmy Butler injury is concerning, but they hold the 8th seed right now. So, Mike, what you got for me out there?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Happy to see you. So, you know me, I probably already coming in guns blazing, starting hot, right? So, uh, for me, I think that the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to repeat. It's not really too much of a hot take. It's kind of, you know, based upon everything that's going on, it's pretty predictable. What I will say, and here's the hot take part, my wild card is definitely the San Antonio Spurs. And the reason for that is because they upset them in the NBA Cup. On top of that, Wemby is going to be a
Really
defensive
get
player
the
of the
fuck
year.
out there.
Wemby
Oh
should
my
be
goodness.
uh should be one of the favorites to win MVP this year. What I would like to see, and here's a better hot take for you. So that's my take. You know, they're going to be the wild horse in the thing, and then probably make it to the Western Conference Finals. Here's my other hot take. I think that Giannis, if he goes to the Spurs win it all. Here's why I say this. Because one, it's going to be difficult to make that type of trade. They'd have to get rid of Steven Castle, right? They'd have to get rid of a couple of pieces they have around them. But can you imagine a front court of Giannis and Wemby? And Wemby, is, for the record, has been coming great playing off the bench as well. He's been fantastic coming off the bench. I actually like him better off the bench because the spark that they need, they already have the guard play, right? They're already fantastic on the wings. They're already well coached. They already have a defensive turnaround there. I know that he's a starter. I'm not diminishing his ability. He's an all-star. He's fantastic to me. He's probably one of the best players in the league right now, especially because he's 7'6" and he plays skills of a guard, right? Like it's extremely difficult to stop this man, especially right now. Right? It's kind of like imagine if Yao Ming I think was 7'4". Imagine if Yao Ming was up there leading the point. You know, like Magic Johnson led the point, and he changed the whole game. 6'9" point guard. So Wemby, in essence, although he plays center, he probably should really play power forward. To be honest with you, just because he's diverse enough that he can actually play out on the wing. He can defend 1 through the 5. Well, 1 is a little difficult for him. He's fast enough, but foot speed is still difficult. People can play up under him. But the level of blocks that he's doing, the level of rebounding that he's doing, the way that he impacts the game, To me, I really like the Spurs. If Giannis goes to the Spurs, they would have enough firepower to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, um, and take over the Western Conference. And then I think that they would run through the East. I like the Knicks out of the East, but the Knicks have always let the Knicks faithful down for years and years and years, right, when it matters. I think that they have a team that is really well rounded. I really like Jalen Brunson, right? I like Carl Anthony Towns there. I like what they have built around them. I like the coaching that they have. And I think that they also have something to prove this year, especially after winning the NBA Cup. So Spurs got second in the NBA. I think the Spurs won the NBA Cup, and then the Knicks got second in the NBA Cup, if I'm not mistaken, or the other way around, right? Other way around. Yeah, the Knicks won the NBA Cup because they didn't want to put the banner up. Yeah, I remember. So the Knicks won the NBA Cup, and the Spurs got second. So my point of saying that is that the Spurs have something to prove. The Knicks have something to prove. I like the Knicks. I like them going to the finals. The team I'm most impressed with this season, though, is definitely by far the Boston Celtics. To Jordan's point, to do what they're doing without their best player, Jason Tatum, has been phenomenal. What I will say, though, is that what worries me is that they have a lot of depth pieces there, which are fantastic. But when it's time to take over a game, I don't know that Jaylen Brown, specifically against a team like the Knicks, or specifically in the finals against a team like the Spurs or Oklahoma City Thunder, I don't think his impact is going to be as built there like SGA's would be or like Wemby's would be. So that's kind of my main things going right now. But you heard it here first. If Giannis goes to the Spurs, which I know Giannis is going out there. The Warriors were looking at him. The Lakers were probably looking at him. Anybody would want Giannis. Giannis is fantastic. He's one of the best players of our generation. But again, if he goes to the Spurs specifically, that type of Twin Towers, you guys remember the Twin Towers when they had David Robinson and Tim Duncan and two 7-footers there. Now you have a 7'6" and a 6'11", and Giannis is of course dynamic and impactful. He can play the three, can play the four, can play the five. The defense is there. He's stout. Either way, I like the Spurs as a wild card. If they have Giannis, I'm going to favor the Spurs to win it all. But I'll pass it back to y'all.
Hold on, I gotta say something first. I want to apologize to the Spurs fan base, those who are Spurs fans, because I completely forgot about them in the West. My mind is still a little bit messed up. You guys are definitely up there with your guard play and your front court play. You guys are a force to be reckoned with. God forbid for the West, if Wemby stays healthy the whole season, they will be top three in the West. Wemby is amazing. I've seen some shots from him from 30 or 40 feet, and it is completely unfair. And the fact that you got little guards running around besides him and they just cause havoc. They can do whatever. They could really run a 5 out with Wemby at the top of the key. How are you gonna guard that? But as far as Giannis going, no. I like the Bucks as well. The relationship between them and Giannis is like a long-term relationship that went sour. They need to go their separate ways. They're not doing good. Doc Rivers is going to stay there. He's not going to get fired this time. But Giannis has to go, and he has to save his good years left. Otherwise, he's just going to go back to Greece. He needs to go somewhere else. They need to trade. Give whatever team, give them whatever they ask for. Give Milwaukee whatever they want, but give them Giannis and let that be. As far as the Knicks, you said Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart being the glue. Yeah, good. But I need Cat to just be focused on the game. I need Josh Hart to keep his hands to himself. If you know, you know. Just you know what I'm talking about. Just focus on the prize. You don't have Indiana to run into in the East this time, so there should be no excuse for you guys to get to the finals. That's all I'm gonna say there.
You ain't got Indiana to worry about, but you got Boston to worry about. Like when you're looking at Boston, you're looking at literally the second best ranked defense out there. Like they've been playing good defense. Like let's not act like they're scrubs. And again, what Mike has alluded to, they've done it without their best player, Jason Tatum. So That's something that you just can't take lightly. So we're not about to act like the Knicks is about to go and like they're like the Bills who have a path to the NBA Finals, and all they got to do is just go through the teams. Like, no, they have decent teams out here in the East to have to do it. Like, you got to deal with the Celtics one way or another. Like, you got the Pistons to deal with. Like, let's kind of let's pump brakes on Knicks having they got an easy road to we act like they got an easy road to the NBA Finals. Let's pump those brakes.
To kind of give you some concept, the Knicks, bar Jason Tatum injury last year, they did beat them in 6 games, and Jason Tatum, I think, was out at the 6th game with the ACL. They did their thing with a Tom Thibodeau ran offense. If you know anything about Tibbs and how he runs his teams, it's like an assembly line. He leaves the switch on if it gets to turn it off and rotate his workers. That's why they always get tired so quick. It's not the same thing. That's why even with the Celtics doing what they're doing, even though they're a well-oiled engine, I still think that the Knicks, regardless, are going to be that team to beat. I don't see the Pistons keeping up with the speed of the Knicks. They may have youth, but do they have speed? I'm not necessarily so sure. I just think that with the family vibe that they have, they may represent the East this year, and the West is still up in the air. I want to see, in my mind, I want to see Knicks Spurs finals.
Yeah, that's not about to happen. Listen, don't put your money on that. You're gonna be broke forever. I'm here to tell you, you gonna trying to put money on the Knicks Spurs finals. The Spurs, maybe.
I told you before, I'm not making any crazy bets this year.
All right, well, I hear you. That already sounds crazy in itself. Like, don't put no money on that, brother. Still, just to kind of give a little, just to put my 2 cents in. I do have where the reports are. I have Giannis going to the Warriors if he moves from the Bucks. If he moves from the Bucks, I think the trade makes more sense. You have while what is his name? The center. I can't think of him right now. While you do have him in the playing the center position.
Who are you talking about for the Knicks?
For Warriors.
For the Warriors,
Draymond Green. I figured it out. I remember his name. Yeah. While you do have Draymond Green there, he is okay-ish on defensive ends. He's a bit of a liability because he gets a whole bunch of fouls. He gets techs. He gets eliminated. He gets out. So I do believe having Giannis there will help. Number one, like give that 1-2 tandem inside the perimeter. Like, I believe that's going to help. 2, when you have Steph Curry right there, like, imagine having to deal with Steph Curry and Giannis at the same time. There's no easy answer. And the Warriors like to pass the ball around, which has been making them relevant. Steph is putting up, like, his last game, he's putting up 38 points in a loss. Like, come on now. Like, I think in the perimeter, they might need some help out there. So having Giannis in there to get pressure off of Steph, because you're going to have to put 2 men on Steph. You have to put 2 men on Giannis. You're not putting one-on-one out there. I think Giannis beats a lot of one-on-one matchups. Not all of them, but I think we believe he beats a lot of one-on-one matchups. And it's like a Jimmy Butler situation. If you have Jimmy running the floor and Steph running the floor, it's kind of hard having to defend 2 people at one time. And then with Giannis there, he'll spread the floor out a bit
more. He ain't coming back until after Super Bowl. So
I know. He's not coming back. But still, the fact is, he's coming back. But
actually,
that's it.
The word on the streets is that there may be a trade that involves the Butler and where he'll serve next.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it depends on how that trade works out. If they get all 3, game time. I'm putting my money for them to win it, because there's no way you're going to sit here and tell me. Go ahead.
I got a question. Time out. My bad. I don't mean to interrupt. I got a question. Are you saying that Jimmy Butler, of course, we know he's injured right now, That if
Yes.
Giannis joins the team with the Warriors, that you have the Warriors favored to win it all, even though Jimmy Butler is hurt. Is that correct? What you're saying right now?
Yes, because here's the thing.
He tore
Here's
his ACL. You do know
I'm
that.
about to defend it. I'm about to defend it. I know you got the sign up right now
I have
saying
a
that.
big sign because
Here's my
this
thing.
is why
Here's
I'm
my
serious
take.
about it. The fit is what's throwing me off with what you're saying. I can respect your take. This is what's throwing me off. The Warriors run are a slashing team who predicated upon passing it out and shooting the three ball. They no longer have a Klay Thompson. He was gone a couple of years ago, right? They put a perimeter defender out there, Jimmy Butler. They now have no perimeter defense. Even if you put Giannis in there, who's great for front court, but is not great as a perimeter defender, let's just be honest. He's a bit
Yeah.
slow on the outside there, right? He's fantastic in the middle. He's an offensive play in a powerhouse. You would have to change up your offensive sets and change up your defensive sets under that paradigm because you're currently set around the wings and operating under Steph dominating the game. Steph would have to average in order for the Warriors to win it all. This is just a take. In order for the Warriors to win it all, Steph would have to average 43 points a game. And then Giannis would have to average 25 points a game and 11 boards for the Warriors to win it all against OKC, against the Spurs. Do you know who's the defenders there that the Spurs have? Stephen Castle by
On defense.
himself. De'Aaron Fox can stick up with has the same speed as Steph Curry. Don't get me wrong. Steph Curry's a better player because he's a better shooter. But De'Aaron Fox can actually have enough speed to keep up with Steph Curry. So if he drops 45 points a game and Giannis does 25 and 11, absolutely. Let's favor the Warriors. But if we call a spade right now in 2026, I'm not talking about 2021. I'm not talking about the iteration in 2019. I'm talking about right now.
Mhm.
Right? New year just happened. I just want to make sure that you're clear that you're saying the Warriors, AC, with
Yes.
no Jimmy Butler, would be favored to win it all with the Giannis trade. I just want to make sure that the audience, the
I
YouTube fam,
said
TikTok,
I
everybody knows because
You better be
I'm
clear,
just
man.
lost for words. It sounds crazy. Wait, you gotta let him defend it,
look,
Jordan. Go ahead, please. Please.
look,
He
look,
sounds like a
look.
Jordan take. It's crazy. Go ahead.
TikTok can beat me all they want to. But again, I stated first, I said if they're able to keep Jimmy Butler in there. I know they got the
He's
rumor
injured.
trade.
Doesn't matter.
It still doesn't matter.
He's out for the season. What's the matter?
Because here's the thing.
He tore his ACL. He's out for the season.
I
Out for the
get
season. Gone. So
so
what does that
here's my
matter?
thing. So here's my thing.
This season.
Again, I got that.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, yes, you are perfectly right. They do have to change up everything. I don't think Steph's going to be mad about having to change up the game plan offensively and defensively.
Wait. One more
But he's
timeout.
not
My
scoring
bad. One more
47.
point of
That's what he's not
clarification.
doing.
What would they have to give up to trade for Giannis? Because before we're
Committing
talking
them.
about Warriors to the finals, which sounds
They had to give a commitment. They had to
ridiculous
give
in
a green. They had to
2026.
give
No
up
disrespect.
everything.
This is out there with this take, and I don't want people to come at you so hard. What I need to understand first, before we talk about this, what are they going to have to give up to get Giannis first? Second thing, they get Giannis with no Jimmy Butler now, too. Third, what changes offensively? What changes defensively? What schemes are they running? How are they winning?
Well, you
Who's
know
doing the
what?
post? You talk about Draymond Green is playing center. Listen, I love you, but
Listen,
Draymond Green at center, he's
I
6'8".
forgot. Listen, I
Wemby is
forgot.
7'6".
This is my fault.
What are we
I
talking
forgot
about?
Kaminga's injured as well. I forgot
Kaminga's
Kaminga's injured.
injured.
I
Butler's
forgot.
injured. Butler's
It's
out
about
for
the
the
ankle
season.
injury.
They're about to trade Kevin Looney. They're gonna have to give up 4 first-round picks just to
You're
get
not even
Giannis up
playing the
out of
whole
there.
time.
And on top of that, probably trade away most of their current lineup.
I
They're gonna have to trade
forgot.
Looney. They're gonna have to get rid of Pozenki, right? They're gonna have to change up the entire roster. And you have them favored to listen. That's like saying
Listen,
I'm gonna give you an
So
equivalent of what you're saying.
I'm
I'm
telling you
just be
right
real
now.
with you. That's like saying that right now that the let's pick a team in the AFC, right? For example, that's like saying barely making it that the Steelers would be in the Super Bowl. I'm a Steelers fan, so I'm just telling you how ridiculous this sounds because we haven't won a playoff game in 10 years. And the equivalent of what you're saying is the same thing as saying an
listen.
Aaron Rodgers-led Steelers team is going win the Super Bowl this year. Listen, I'm gonna tell you straight up, I'm a Steelers fan. I don't see it happening. I think we're living in the past. I think it's going to be impossible, not improbable, but damn near impossible for the Warriors, even if they trade for Giannis to trade all their future assets and get rid of Kevin Looney and change up the entire offensive and defensive scheme and still have no Jimmy Butler. And I can keep going. But
Listen,
my point is, what?
So first
I
off,
forgot about
hold
Kaminga's injury.
on.
What?
One thing.
I'm sorry, I couldn't let you breathe on that take.
First
That's
off,
crazy. Go
I gotta
ahead,
give
Jordan.
you
My bad. Go
I
ahead.
gotta give you a correction. Kevon Looney is on the New Orleans Pelicans. That's number one. Number two, and more importantly, the Warriors are going to give up John Kuminga, Draymond Green, and the Golden Gate Bridge in order to get Giannis. They're going to give up
Oh, my bad.
everything
Kaminga.
and everybody.
Nobody wants Draymond Green. First off, Draymond is 36 and stays in foul trouble every week,
He'll be
right?
close to.
So you want to give up?
Michigan.
Let's say no Kevin
That's
Looney.
pretty
You
much
want
a
to give up
home run
Kuminga.
for him.
Kuminga's your second best player, and then you'd also give up 4 first-round picks, and then you also have no perimeter defense. And then who's okay? Let's just play it out. Giannis joins the team. Awesome. Is he playing power forward or center?
Giannis.
That's a great question.
On the Warriors, as we're talking about right now, with no Kevin Looney, and now you're trading away your second best player.
Because they already got a big man that can do stretch big as a forward. Post.
So he's playing 4? Is that what he's playing? Or he's playing 5?
It can shoot the threes. It can stretch everything out.
Okay, so you have Giannis shooting threes.
No,
clarify.
Giannis being the 5, being the big man, and I have post.
Giannis is not a big man. Giannis is a big guy, but he's not a big man. In the NBA right now, okay, the average center in the NBA right now, it's like 7'1". So let's just say hypothetically we went with what you said. Giannis plays the 5. Perfect. Love it. Who's playing the 4? I want to play this out. I want to see this reality of the Warriors right now this season.
I didn't say what I said.
I don't find it. This says defend that. I need it. I need the sign. Because this sounds crazy.
I didn't say it was a certainty. I said I'm going with what the rumor mill is going with.
You going with the rumor mill? I'm cool with that. But the rumor mill didn't say that the Warriors was winning at all.
I did say
that the Warriors was winning at all.
I mean, if Al Horford want to stay around and try and ring chase again, he could be there 5. But you still have, like I said, you have Post that's a 5 as well. You can make a couple of things shake with this Warriors team, but you're gonna give up all.
Wait, you gonna make it shake all the way to winning in the finals with this Warriors team, adding Giannis and having to trade away. I mean, since you just mentioned, because Looney's already gone. My bad, I forgot he was gone.
You might as well go all the way.
With who? Tell me. Break it down 1 to 5. Who's you? You get Giannis, fantastic. What happens?
Field, Post, and Giannis, and Giannis and Post can switch positions. They can switch to 4 and 5.
Okay, how tall is Post?
How tall is Post? What about 7 foot 7'1", probably?
Awesome, love it. What's his defense been like? What's his defensive efficiency been looking like?
He's not a defensive guy. He's a stretch big.
Wait. Rewind. So you put Giannis as your main defender. Where's Draymond Green playing? Because you just said, is Draymond getting traded?
Draymond Green's gone. He's going with the Golden Gate Bridge and they're going with everything else.
They trade their heart and soul in Draymond. They put out this big as a stretch forward, 7'1".
Old heart for a new heart.
Okay, cool. You add Giannis. Who's playing perimeter defense in this situation? Because I hear zero because I know you're not relying on Steph Curry. I know you're not relying on Steph for defense.
Anthony Melton and Gary Payton is second.
Relying on Steph Curry to
Gary
play.
Payton is like 5'11". He's like Nick's height.
Gary Payton's like 6'2", 6'2" or 6'3". He plays
6'2" in the NBA is like 5'10" in anywhere else. So, but that's your perimeter defense.
The Anthony Melton's around the same 6'2", 3 or 4, or maybe 6'7", I think. But they have some perimeter guys that can make things work. But they just need players that can actually get their own bucket.
Let's ask a better question then. Let's talk matchups, right? Better question. Warriors made this great, amazing trade, right? Awesome. They're in the playoffs. Are they an 8 seed where they're doing the play-in, or are they a top 4 seed?
8.
Okay.
6 to 8.
So let's say they're a 7 seed. That's play-in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So the play-in, the 7th seed plays a 2 seed or 7 play seed. They play a 2 seed, right?
Yeah.
No. They got to play the 10 seed first.
Oh, they play a
7
10 seed
plays
first.
8, 9 plays 10, Winner of 7-8 gets the 7th seed. Winner of 9-10 plays for the 8th spot.
Okay. So eighth seed, so the team right behind them would be
Right
the
now, hold
Spurs.
on. I got you, because I got it.
Spurs like
Hold
what?
on.
Second or third?
Hold on. The Timberwolves are 7th right now.
Okay.
Warriors 8th.
Okay, let's immediately go back to that. So the Timberwolves, as currently constructed, versus a Giannis on the Warriors team. You're telling me the Warriors come out winning?
Again,
I'm just listen. You said that the
don't.
Warriors gonna win it all if they trade for
I
Giannis. I
said
need
it.
to clarify.
I said it depends on how it's constructed, because again, we already know, just like Jordan said, you got to get rid of just about
The
your
whole
future
team,
to
except for
get that
Steph
man.
Curry and the coach. So you got the coach out there shooting threes. Okay, I'm just making sure. I'm just trying to follow the logic.
Kerr still got it. Kerr still
He
got
still
it.
got it. He only like
That's not on
65. Put him
defense.
up there.
That's not on defense.
No defense. All right, my bad. Listen, I don't mean to stay on this topic.
Yeah.
When you said that the Warriors was winning the all if they trade for Giannis, it threw off my life. I could have talked basketball the whole rest of the time, but I'll
Listen,
let you handle it. Go ahead. My bad.
I
I
was
got
just
excited.
throwing a dark horse out there. I ain't need you to crash out on me. You sat there and threw the whole kitchen sink at me, bro. Golly. All right, let's move on. This man over here. Who's guarding the forward? Come on, bro. I'm just giving a dark horse prediction. All right. We're moving on. Like I said, we're getting to the NBA. NBA season is moving. The All-Star selection is in, ladies and gentlemen. The current selections are as follows. On the East, you have Giannis, of course, making his 10th All-Star appearance. Mr. Jaylen Brown making his 5th All-Star appearance. Jalen Brunson, 3rd appearance. Cade Cunningham and Tyrese Maxey both having their 2nd All-Star appearances. Then for the West, you have Steph Curry making his 12th All-Star appearance. Luka Doncic making his 6th. SGA making his 4th. Jokic making his 8th appearance, and Victor Wembanyama coming in on his 2nd. Right now, based on what you got. Before I ask that question, we also have your reserves. For the East, you have Scotty Barnes, Jalen Duren, Jalen Johnson, Donovan Mitchell, Michael Porter Jr., Norman Powell, and Cat. For the West, your reserves are Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker, KD, Diddy Adija, Chet Holmgren, Jamal Murray, and Segun from the Rockets. Now, with that being said, what do you think about All-Star list? Do you think anybody was left out? One of the names, LeBron James, is not mentioned up here. Shocker. But outside of the King himself, who's a shocker? Who you have so far based on this lineup? Who do you think you got winning? Mike,
well, keep in mind these are projected. So, are you confident that these are the actual reserves, or these are projected? Because having LeBron not on there is crazy.
Projected, just projected. The reserves are just projected. That's what they're projected as. All right. So we're gonna start with the crash out Mike himself. So Mike, yeah, you're gonna get this crash out title. You got the crash out title tonight. Mike, what do you think about the list so far? And if this list stands, who do you think will win it?
It's funny. We should come up with a thing where a person gets a crown and they get to be crowned a crash out king for the day. It might be me sometimes because listen, I be having to know for sure. I get excited, All-Star game. I'll be honest with you. I don't care about the All-Star game. That's my controversial take. I don't think the All-Star game matters enough. Unfortunately, it used to be the best exhibition game that was ever played, and then lately it's just a bunch of threes and showboating. It's not fun to me. I do think the West is going to dominate comparatively. Just when you talk about the rosters, they have studs at every level over the East. And I also don't like the depth of the East, to be honest with you. LeBron James being a snub, I think, makes no sense. He's still playing at an all-star level, in my opinion. And also, uh, part of it, I think, could be just bias. Sometimes you don't want him breaking Kobe's record or Tim Duncan's record or just some of the greats' records. Going to so many All Star games in a row, which is unfortunate sometimes when you deal with that. Um, I do think that LeBron maybe has like one more year left, so I would love to see him get that nod and then roll off into the sunset next year. 'Cause Jordan made it his final year and got a starter over Vince Carter. Vince Carter gave him the spot, but he shouldn't have been the starter that year. Vince was going crazy. So with the All Star game, I think what would be cool is if the all this is a that random take has nothing to do with what you asked, but I think it kind of does. Um, I wish that the All Star game worked similar to the baseball All Star game, where the winner of the All Star game got home court advantage. I think that would make it so much more competitive and so much more interesting. And I think that was one of the best things that was done in baseball. So um, I think that LeBron being snubbed for me is just kind of ridiculous. There's a couple of other players there that got snubbed. De'Aaron Fox comes to mind in that capacity. Castle comes to mind, both playing with the Spurs, playing well. Chet Holmgren is playing kind of on and off. It's been hit or miss, so I can't really necessarily give him the nod there. There's a couple of others that come to mind. There's Trey Young not being there. He was averaging 25 a game before the trade that he had. Um, this shows me, it's interesting the bias that kind of exists sometimes in regards to the All Star voting. Uh, but I think sometimes I can't remember the percentage, but I know your peers play a factor into it as well as far as who votes you in. But yeah, my hot take is that I think the All Star Game format needs to change. Wherein I like the draft idea that they did and brought back and didn't again, and that kind of thing. I like the draft. I thought that was cool, but I think that the stakes need to be higher. I think that the winner of the All Star Game should get home court advantage. So that's my non-crash out version of this take. But I'll pass it back to y'all.
All right, Jordan, tell me what you got out here. Tell me what you got.
All right, so I'm just gonna keep it a bean. Uh, Looking at the East reserves roster, Michael Junior Porter, only reason he's there because the Nets suck and he's the best player on there and he's scoring a lot at a high clip. That's the only reason he's there. Otherwise, he wouldn't even be a factor. I mean, the Eastern All Stars, okay, yeah, fine, they deserve it. Giannis, Cade, JB, Max, and Mitchell, they're the best on their team. So okay, good. As far as the West reserves, I don't even care about the starters because they deserve their space. To have LeBron not in the starters is absolutely absurd, in my opinion. The fact that the Clippers have a worse record than the Lakers and Kawhi Leonard is considered to be a projected reserve is really asinine, asin 10, whatever you call it. I mean, KD, yes. Ant-Man, yes. Chet, yes. Jamal Murray, he plays second fiddle to Jokic. I'm still not kind of sold on him. I think they would do that out of pity, but I think LeBron should be in that just because he's on his 22nd season, 23rd season, and he's averaging 22, 5, and 7. Who else that their 23rd season doing that? I'll wait.
You got me stumped. I'm not in that. Uh, Obviously, the King being robbed of it is a really big shocker because, like I said, 23rd season, he's still doing it all. He's doing a lot of stuff out there. I mean, clearly, he's like the Tom Brady of the NBA. He ain't got as many rings as Tom Brady does, but he's like the Tom Brady of the NBA. He's playing at a high level in his mid-40s. Close to his mid-40s. Still out there doing his thing. He still has it. What he's done to kind of keep himself in shape and keeping up with the young stars of the NBA now is definitely spectacular. I do believe if this is not his last year, then next year will probably be his last year, but we don't know. Like, honestly, he needs to be in there because we don't know if this is the last year we're seeing him play on a court ever. So definitely him being there is kind of shocking. I do have, if I'm looking at this correctly, I think I have the West winning it. I think this team right here, I think the West can win it. I do believe it's close. It's going to be within a score or two. Nothing crazy. Of course, with the new format, the way that they have it, it's crazy. But that's something we'll discuss. We actually got that topic coming up later on, but we'll discuss that in a little bit. Like I said, I got it within a score or two, so we'll move on from there.
And the last thing I'll say about the only reason they're probably going to put Kawhi in over LeBron is because Kawhi has 5 more games than LeBron. But Kawhi is famous for taking a lot of PTO. So if that's the case, if you're going to put 5 games as a difference, I'm putting LeBron in over Kawhi every single time.
I'm not doing this with you right now. I'm not doing this with you right now, dude. PTO is diabolical.
Advocating for him.
This man put vacation. You said this man put vacation time in.
Yes,
so
Mr. PTO of the league.
The reason why he's in that
since time immemorial.
He got short-term disability.
It's about 25 to 30 games off, and then comes back like nobody even missed him, and yet they wonder why they lose because he's never there. You gotta stay ready to be ready, but he's never that.
My man said that Kawhi Leonard takes PTO and takes short-term disability in the same season.
Yes,
he therefore should not be an All-Star.
Yes.
That's a hot take right there. FMLA. That's a hot take. He's on FMLA.
Yes. On FMLA, and he gets an All-Star. It's crazy work.
But I do go to the next topic. That's a good one right there.
That's a real good one. This man said PTO, VTO, or UPT don't matter. I'll be there for my All-Star.
We're gonna move FMLA Lakers in 5. Whatever. Next topic.
Got a blind ranker for y'all right here. A blind ranker. So I got a listed names for you out here. You two had to rank them from 1 to 8 blindly. You won't know who will show up. All right. I have 8 random NBA players. I had ChatGPT randomize the list and the order. So 1 through 8, you have to rank these players. All right.
But we have to agree on the list.
Yeah, I'm gonna go one by one. I'm gonna go one by one. You guys blindly rank them. All right. I will notate for y'all. All right. So that way we keep going. All right. So number 1 on the list, Luka Doncic.
Number 2.
1.
Y'all got to agree upon something. Number 2 or number 1?
SGA is better than Luka.
We don't know if he's going to put SGA in the bunch. It's random players. So
I got a feeling that I would hold out for SGA. I'm comfortable putting Luka at number 2 out of number 8. I'm not going to disrespectfully put him at 3.
I'm comfortable putting Luka number 1 only because offensively he's the best player in the league. Now,
what about defensively?
Other intangibles, that's up for question. Defense.
What about defensively?
Defensively, he takes the day off every single time.
Okay, so if he's taking the day off on half the game's only offense and defense, there's only 2 sides.
I know, but he's a cone. He's a cone on defense. I don't trust that.
So you trust that as number 1 overall with everybody else under him?
I do not care who you put there. You could put SGA, FBA, BBA. I do not care. I'm putting Luka as number 1 offensively because he has the best.
The question is not offensively. The question is as a player.
Yeah, one-on-one. Your offense is going.
He didn't say one-on-one. He said as a player. He didn't say one-on-one a caveat. He didn't say offensive caveat. He didn't say efficiency caveat. He said number 1.
One-on-one scoring every single time.
That's not what he said. That's not what he said. He didn't say nothing about one-on-one. He didn't say nothing about efficiency ratings. He didn't say nothing about offensive player. He said as a player overall. On this random list of players, you're putting him number 1. I'm putting him number 2. We can play rock, paper, scissors for it, and then we'll go with whichever. You ready?
Rock, paper, scissors. Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right, you put it number 2. Number 2
it is.
2 it is.
All right. On the list, we got Giannis.
Number 3. I can't put him above Luka.
Giannis 3.
You gonna put Giannis over Luka?
No, I'm thinking. You said Luka's 2 and Giannis is 3. All right.
I'd put Giannis at 3 or 4 comfortably.
Right, I'll put Giannis at 3.
3 is fine. All right.
Giannis at 3. Next name on the list, Victor Wembanyama.
Number 6.
5.
5 is good. I'm cool with it.
5.
All right, we cool with 5.
I don't want to disrespect him. I think he's a fantastic player.
Oh, y'all holding that number 1 spot real good.
I'm just.
All right, next name on the list, Donovan Mitchell.
7.
I can accept that. I don't think he's better than the ones previously named.
All right, next name on the list, Tyree Maxey.
10.
It's
1
only
to 8.
8 spots.
Oh, I thought you said 10. I thought it was 10. My bad. 8. 8. He's 8. He's 8.
I'll follow Jordan's lead on this one.
Yeah, I can't count. Sorry.
I'll follow Jordan's lead. Go ahead.
All right, 8 it is. All right, next name on the list, Cade Cunningham.
6.
Like I said, Jordan's leading the ship here.
6. It's a guard set. K, Spider, Maxey. That's in order. So yeah.
All right, so we got that. Next name on the list.
Wait. How many spots we got left?
You got 2 spots left. You got number 1 and number 4. That's it.
Okay. Okay.
Next name on the list, Karl Anthony Towns.
4.
All right.
Well,
Well,
gonna give us a bum at number 1, and I'm gonna be
Blind Ranko
with Luka.
You guys got, y'all won't put it out there. Blind Ranko, you guys got Luka Doncic at number 2, Giannis at number 3, Wemby at number 5, Donovan Mitchell at number 7, Tyrese Maxey number 8, Cade Cunningham number 6, Cat at number 4, and at number 1, you guys have James Harden.
It's not terrible. It's not the best, but it's not terrible. Luka should have been number 1 in that list. You're right.
And you got mad at me. You gave me a tirade for putting Luka number 1. I told you, offense, no one-on-one. I don't care who it is. Luka is going to be number 1.
Listen, the argument was good because you have to hold out for SGA. You don't know.
That's the only one I was holding out for.
I don't care. SGA will give Luka a good matchup on defense, but Luka on offense, he has the bag to do whatever. He has that Louis bag. He has that Hermes bag. He has the bag.
So I'll have to concede. I think Jordan was right on this one.
Hey, well, we'll see. Did the guys cook out here?
We didn't do bad, but go ahead. All right.
Y'all gotta let me know. Did the guys cook out here with this list, or did they fumble out here? They should have made Luka 1. We don't know. Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe. Let us know. All right, next topic out here. We're going back to the All-Stars, All-Star selection. Does it really make sense? Does the format work, or does the weekend not feel the same? Mike,
what's the format? You gotta tell us the format.
If I'm correct, I believe the format is first to 157 or something like that. Let me give you a second. But Jordan, I'll have you lead us off. I'll get back on the format in a second. Let me know. Does the All-Star feel? Is it the same? Like, does the format work right now? I mean, does the weekend feel the same? Like, do you really care about the All-Star season?
All right, so to give you some insight on how the All-Star game is going to work, it's going to be a U.S. versus the world format, kind of like that Olympic feel. You're going to have 3 teams of 8, and you're going to have a 4-game, 12-minute quarter round-robin tournament. I personally think that they've been trying to switch it up so many times. There's no consistency. I mean, of course, the entropy in that is great. It keeps people guessing, but it also makes the yearners of old bored because they're like, you're not keeping it consistent enough. Like I liked it when you had East versus West. You got the best in the 5 East. You got the best in the 5 West. 1-on-1, who's the best? MVP on East, MVP versus West. Make it more simple rather than complicated. You're doing all this 3-quarter stuff, then best of 24, whatever, which was good for Kobe. Rest in peace, Kobe. But now it's like you're trying too hard, and when you try hard is when you die hard. Shout out to Kanye.
My take, I don't care about the All-Star game. I could care less about the All-Star game. I think it's the worst All-Star game of any All-Star game other than the flag football game that they play in the NFL because I miss them hitting. But I also don't want people getting injured, so I'm okay with it. I wish that the NFL kept the skills game that they used to do, and I also wish that the NFL kept the game where they used to have the college all stars against like the NFL team. I think that would be fun to see again, just to see just how much they get blown out by because the NFL team would dominate them. Um, at the NBA level, though, I think, as to Jordan's point, I think the lack of consistency is definitely difficult to follow. I hate that the dunk contest stopped mattering and people stopped trying to participate. For example, VJ Edgecombe decided to not participate after laying out some monster dunks this season and being a rookie and being invited as a first timer. Thought that would have been fantastic for him and his brand. Um, I think they messed up with the dunk contest when they've had people do all these retries, like unlimited retries. It's almost like you get to play Madden and then you quit in the middle of the game and get to just start all over. It's trash, bro. Instead, play the game. Um, similar to uh, I don't know. It's difficult to compare it to anything because again, they keep changing it up. I like the 3 point contest. I think the 3 point contest is valuable as part of All Star Weekend. I thought last year or the year before when they had Steph against the top women in the WNBA and Steph won but didn't win by a lot. I thought
Shout out
that
to
was
Sabrina Ionescu, the New
yeah,
York Liberty.
bringing Ionescu. Yeah, I like her a lot. Actually, she's a great player. And I think the 3 point contest evens up the playing field because it's not just about the highlights; it's about the fundamentals. So I like that part of the contest. I like the rookie showcase, like the rookies versus sophomores. I think that that one's always great. Um, I like the idea of U.S. versus the world. I think that that makes a lot of sense. But I think that this should be done under maybe a draft format where they get to pick who's going to be a starter. I think the players picking who the starters are. I really liked when they did that a few years ago. I think that that should keep going. And additionally, as I mentioned, I do think that they need to change the format wherein the winner of the All Star game gets home court advantage as far as whether it's East or West. It's difficult to do if you're doing World versus USA. It's difficult to do if you're doing rookies versus sophomores. It's difficult to do if you're adding people that aren't LeBron James to the All Star game. But overall, if you ask me like on a 1 to 10, how much do you care about the All Star game? Like, I'm gonna say a 2.5. Back in the '90s, I was like a 8.5, 9.5. Like the All Star game was fire. The early 2000s, it was a 10 out of 10. I couldn't wait for the All Star game. Right
Y'all,
now, right now, it's a 2.5, and I probably would much rather watch something on TNT or watch something a rerun on Netflix as opposed to watching the All Star game.
All
all
right,
right.
I gotta talk about this. So the skills challenge is still a thing. The 3 point shooting is still a thing, and the slam dunk apparently is still a thing. I just hope that Mac McClung doesn't win 4 times in a row because we don't need that. We really don't need that. We need some new blood. Ja Morant, Zion, y'all are healthy. Y'all not healthy scratches. Y'all need to get your behinds up, get in this dunk contest, make it live again, make the slam dunk contest great again. We need that just for the culture. Honestly, I'm tired of falling asleep every single time the dunk contest comes on. The 3 point contest is
I got
great.
a question. One second, my bad. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I got a quick question. With the format of the dunk contest, one year they did it where like the warm ups was the dunk contest. Did they take that crap away? Because that was the most terrible dunk contest I'd ever seen. Um,
Oh, you're talking about where they were warming up for their dunks, and like if they missed, it didn't count.
oh, yeah, no, no, there was a one. I think John Wall won it or some shit, and he like it wasn't. It didn't. Nobody knew that the dunk contest was going on. It was just like they was warming up, doing a couple of practice dunks, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, this is the winner." Did they
It
get rid of
probably
that
was that
terrible
way because
format a few years
that
ago?
specific All Star game, it was kind of weird. I think that was the I think that was this year that Kyrie won the All Star game MVP. 14 was just weird in itself.
Okay,
But
they
they
got rid of that though. It's not like
I
that
think
anymore.
so. I think they have.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
go ahead, go ahead.
But as far as the whole West, I mean All Star game goes, I wish they had more fire in them. Like they they miss so much when trying to keep both generations a part of it. Like us growing up in the '90s and 2000s, we had our favorite All Star games. We can remember them, and we remember how these just straight up suck. Like they don't. They don't make us remember them. Like I could barely know what happened in 23, 24, 25 besides Steph Curry. I lose track of it. And next year, what's crazy is the Super Bowl and the All-Star game may be on the same weekend or may be simultaneously on the same weekend. So they're going to compete for each other. So what's the All-Star game going to do?
Super Bowl win.
The Super Bowl wins immediately. Wait,
Exactly.
random thought. This is a random thought. It's different from what we're talking about. I just got to give you a 30-second vent if you're okay.
Unfortunately, they're a week apart. I just checked.
I hated that Trump interrupted the national championship game to give us that announcement. That's my random thought. Whatever everybody says is fine on that, but it
Back to
pissed
that
me off completely. I don't know if that's even a topic that we're going over, but I was so annoyed with that. I just have to let you guys know. Go ahead.
We can go on that on another episode or something like that. Right now, I'm not giving that man no type of attention at this point. With all due respect, because he is the president. So with all due respect, but I'm not wasting time with that. This is what I have for the All-Star game format for 2026. It is speculated, but this is for the majority what it is. The starters are picked by the fans, the media, and the player vote. 50% fans, 50%, 25 media, 25% players. The reserves are selected by the head coaches. They cannot choose their own players. The team captains will therefore pick players from the pool of starters and reserves. The players from the same NBA team can be on opposite teams. So there's a draft format. Of course, the first three quarters are scored individually. Each one starts at 0. And then the fourth one is the Elam ending. Then you have the fourth quarter is the Elam ending. Whoever leads after the three quarters, you add 24 to it, and that's the target scorer. Shout out to Kobe Bryant. And then the first team to reach that score wins. So that's what they have for that. But my thoughts on it, as far as overall, like I give the All-Star 1 out of 1.5. It's not memorable. Just like Mike was saying, and Jordan, you were saying to it as well. I don't remember anything past 2020. I don't even remember anything past 2018. But that's just as far as the All-Star game. I haven't even watched the NBA dunk contest.
I remember the pandemic All-Star game, and that was 5 years ago.
6.
No, 2021.
Oh, then that one. Okay, cool. But yeah, I haven't watched the NBA dunk contest since 2016, which is arguably one of the greatest dunk contests ever. And I'm putting it out there. Aaron Gordon got robbed. I'm sorry. There's no way you're going to sit here and tell me Zach LaVine deserved that back-to-back. Everybody knew Aaron Gordon won that. Everybody except for the judges. I'm just saying. This is the reason why he didn't want to do it in 2016, because he got snubbed in there. But literally, 2016 was his best dunk, and that was the best dunk contest ever. Mm-hmm. To pass that to Zach LaVine for what he did, no, I'm sorry. Aaron Gordon came lights out for that. So I will be fair. I don't even care. I don't care about it. Like we need some better judges out here. I just telling it like it is. Also, you're not getting Zion to do a dunk contest because bro's too busy out here impregnating the porn stars, bro. Like, let's be for real. Like, he got like
you have to bring his whole life into this, man.
This man, nah, because we're gonna talk about it. This man got like a spades hand. He got 3 and a possible baby mamas out here because the man don't know how to wrap it up. Like, no, we not about to do this, bro. This man got more baby mamas than I have. I have books and spades, and y'all. And for those that know, I get books and spades. But this man got a lot going on. I don't think he's doing anything All-Star dunk contest related anytime soon. But that's all on that. We're gonna move on to the next topic out here. Oh gosh, you almost had me crash out here.
Wait, I thought we was about to pass you the crowd.
Hey, no, I knew what the limit was.
I was about to pass it.
Nah, I knew what the limit was. You ain't about to get me like that. You gonna have to try again. All right, next topic. Well, we matter of fact, great segue into the next topic. We was talking about the NBA All-Stars. Rank them. Mount Rushmore time. I need your rank on the top or your top 4 NBA All-Star weekends of all time. Which one is the ultimate legendary weekend? I'm gonna start first. So for my Mount Rushmore, I got the 2003 All-Star number 1, Kobe versus MJ. That was legendary. That is the ultimate legend. It's like Tom Brady is the GOAT of all quarterbacks. That All-Star 2003 was it. We're talking about, when we talk basketball, we all know the phrase is we're all chasing Jordan, 6-0. So that All-Star was the pivotal point where essentially the torch was passed from MJ to Kobe. So I have that one number 1. Number 2, I have another Kobe classic, the 2009 All-Star game. Kobe versus LeBron. Essentially, it was a passing of the torch from there as well. Because like that was where LeBron started to ascend as a superstar person and get into where all of the predictions were saying that he would be. So that was like, I believe that was his catalyst at that point for him to be able to branch out and do what he needed to do as far as LeBron's legacy. Kobe was in his prime, doing amazing things. Of course, Kobe goes on to win a championship later on, and he goes back to back, but we talk about that later on. The third one is I have the 1992 All-Star Game. This one was more infamously known as Magic Johnson's comeback game after his HIV announcement. It was a very inspirational moment, of course. You know, HIV being labeled as the death note for a lot of people, and for Magic to not only come out, for him to come back into the game when essentially it's talked about as a death note. And Magic Johnson's still alive today. So that right there being a very pivotal moment as far as the fight against HIV and AIDS. And then number 4, I'm gonna get some hate for this. Y'all gonna hate me for this. But the 2020 All-Star Game. Yeah, I'm a longtime Lakers fan. The year Kobe died, it was a very emotional game. I know I cried as a Lakers fan, so it was one of those things that held to me there. RIP to the Mamba. And also it kind of helped, introduce the new young talent that we're seeing out here today. Oh gosh. You had that's a lot. I'm sorry, man. Doncic, you got SGA that was, coming up on. Of course, Jimmy Butler was there, Jason Tatum was there, Chris Middleton, Bam Adebayo. Of course, Kawhi was there, and he was the MVP. So you had a lot of the older legends that were there still, but you had the younger players stepping up and introducing the new wave of the NBA. Those are my 4. So again, you have 2003, 2009, 1992, and 2020. Those are my picks for All-Star games for my Mount Rushmore. Jordan, I'm gonna pass it off to you where you have the your Mount Rushmore of All-Star games.
All right, so I'm gonna make it quick. Try to make this under a minute so that way we can keep this going because these were near and dear to my heart. And you have to be in order, or they gotta be in order.
It's your call.
All right, these are just the 4 I have. 2020 was one of them because rest in peace, Kobe. That was when they started doing the Elam ending. They had to make sure that it was best to 24 in that fourth quarter. It was a tribute to Kobe. They did great. 2022, Steph Curry, all-time three-point performance. One of the best things I've ever seen in my lifetime. 2016, LeBron versus Kobe. Kobe's last All-Star game. Like the feels, everything was there. And one of my personal favorites was 2001. The West been running roughshod over the East the last couple of years, and the East decided to say, "Nah, hold that." Stephon Marbury, Allen Iverson pulled out the win for the East. Then it was a really a change in the kind of the guard, knowing that the East is still there. The East had the best guards. Those are my top four: 2001, 2022, 2016, and 2020.
All right, so mine. I had to look this up because again, I haven't been caring about the All Star game in a while, but I do remember a lot of these things that actually happened. So this one was actually before I was born, but I always see the highlights all the time. 1983's All Star game. The reason for that is because this is when Marvin Gaye did his rendition of the national anthem, and everybody was jamming out and rocking out. It had everybody just motivated before he passed away. R.I.P. to Marvin Gaye. There, I thought that I still see on TikTok and on Instagram and on Facebook and just all the things. I still see that performance all the time. So it had to be one of the most iconic. Um, the next one there was 2000. 2000 comes up 100%. I think that was one of the best ones ever. Shaq winning MVP tied with Tim Duncan there. Both of those being so iconic that year, right? 2012 when Kevin Durant won and he secured the MVP on the last shot of the game. That seems like that was pretty fantastic there. And then 2000 because 2000 not because of the All Star game, but because of the dunk contest. That's when Vince Carter won and told you it's over. And that one for me was like, it's over. So that was pretty much my list. But go ahead, yo. We can go to the next topic.
Yeah, I was about to say that Vince Carter, it undeniably one of the GOATs when it comes to that. So we're on a special segment out here. So we like to give a little respect to the Mamba. We are coming up, we just passed by the anniversary. 20 years ago, Kobe Bryant dropped 81 on the Toronto Raptors. Of course, he was at home. He shot 28 of 46, 7 of 13 from three, so around about 50%, a little over 50%, and 18 of 20 free throws. So just where were you at that special time when Kobe Bryant dropped 81?
I was chilling in my crib, actually watching it, and at the point in time, I really couldn't stand Kobe because I honestly thought the Lakers at that time they were cheaters back in the day, and they used to just run through everybody. But then when Shaq left, that's when they started struggling. I really just got to see Kobe up close and personal, and dude was a scoring machine. The fact that he scored 28 in the fourth is ridiculous in itself. That's when he's got fire, and he didn't even force the shots. It was just one after another, and he was really trying to prove a point that he could carry the team on his own without Shaq. And for a good amount of time through those years, he did. That was kind of the beginning of 24. Kobe, one of the best players to ever play. He's my number two on the best of all time, my greatest of all time. LeBron's number one. Don't judge me. Don't debate me on that. But Kobe, that was one of his best performances ever, next to his 60-point finale.
Yeah, you gonna get some judgment on that because we already know who number one is. It ain't LeBron. But I'm gonna let you
We're not
live.
doing that today. We're not doing that tonight.
We're gonna let you live.
Is that a topic of the day? Because we can have that conversation.
No, we're
It's
not doing
not
that.
a topic of the day. Because I
Oh.
promise you, we going at it. Because all three of us got different number ones. So we just gonna go for it. But it's not today. Let's crash out. You got the floor. Yeah, you got hold it.
Where was I? I was 17. I was about to graduate high school and go to college to start my Norfolk State days. When Kobe had the 81-point game. To be honest, in hindsight, it was more impressive, but at the time I wasn't really impressed with it because it felt like he was a ball hog. And I historically remember Kobe being a ball hog. And he's remembered differently post mortem than he was while he played. When he was playing, he was a ball hog and he didn't pass the ball, and he would be shooting the ball up against triple coverage there, which was excessive. Um, for me, Jordan 63 was always more impressive than Kobe's 81. And uh, for multiple reasons, partially being the Raptors were terrible on defense. Second part being that Jordan's happened in the playoffs against the number one defense in the Celtics. But shouts to the Mamba, right? Uh, Hearing Kobe's perspective as an adult and like a wife and kids and all the things that he stood for and what he did, and it just makes you respect the man way more and respect his acumen and his basketball knowledge and etc. He was a student of the game. He could score on anyone. He was a scoring machine, absolutely. But his efficiency rating was quite low at 50%. For me, that always drops him a bit lower in my rankings all time whenever we do that list. But either way, uh, respect and shouts to Kobe. R.I.P. to the man. All right, I'm sorry that he had to pass away. One of uh, the worst part about living is that we all have to pass. It's unfortunate his was so sudden, especially with his baby girl being there with him. You know, that was probably the saddest part. So, anyway,
But that's the
I
best
want to.
part about Kobe. Like, I don't think people understand the fact that he had the most missed attempts ever shows how much of a determination he had to make it. Like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So he was a living testament of that. I didn't like it at first, but as I grew up, as I started to see Kobe mature and be a lover of the game rather than a person actually playing the game, I gained so much respect for him, and it was quite a shame that a lot of people didn't even have a modicum of his spirit that he had on the court, and
So
that's why he's like the second best player I've ever seen.
I'll respect your take, and like I said, we'll have that debate later. But the interesting thing that you said to me was that you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. The problem that I had with Kobe was that he took 100% of the shots. So it wasn't that was the problem.
Listen,
But I'll pass it back to
You
you, Nick.
gotta,
Go ahead,
man, you
bro.
gotta shoot something. I mean, look at the players on this team. I mean, they could barely shoot themselves out of a paper bag. I mean,
no, no, I'm not about to let y'all do that to that man, Kobe. Listen, the man said it outright. He said when we were in practice, I saw how they was working. They were BSing. They were being lazy. They were moving from practice to practice or thing to thing. They were being lackadaisical. They were blowing stuff off. They weren't taking it seriously. Kobe said it himself. This is how my family eats, bro. I take this seriously. You're not just about to show up and then take this stuff, just be lackadaisical with it. Like, you're not about to BS me. Like, no, I understand that personally. Like, you're not about to just show up and you've been like, that was the issue with him and Shaq because Kobe would work excessively on his craft and Shaq wouldn't because Shaq was so dominant. And I understand both aspects of it. But Kobe was so dominant because of how he practiced. He could read defenses so well. So that was part of the issue. It was he's looking at his teammates and they're like being lackadaisical. So no, I'm not going to pass you the ball because you're not going to make it. I know you're not going to make it. Like if this was like, okay, you're showing effort, we're just missing shots. Okay, cool. But your effort behind things, like, no, I'm not passing you the ball at all. That would be me too. I'm not going to pass you the ball. And this is how my family eat. And we lose 50 games because y'all, you're like the Lakers from 2020 to 2021. They celebrating a win after losing like 13 straight. Like, what? We're not celebrating that. Celebrating that. We hang banners with the Lakers. We're not hanging conference champions, division round champions, the West champions. We're not celebrating that. We're not hanging none of that stuff up. We hanging banners. We hanging championships. We putting on real rings. We ain't putting that other fake stuff on. But that was my little spill on it. I almost got that title. It's just looking through some of these games that Kobe had. Kobe had a lot of games where he scored 30 or more points. This was a look into, he had 33 during that stretch. So this was right in the middle of 33 games, scoring 30 points or more. Just like to give a context on it, a couple days ago, January 19th of that same year, he had scored 51 against the Kings. January 7th of that same month, that same year just starting, he dropped 50 on the Clippers. December 28th, 45. The game after he scored 81. He scored 46 on the Phoenix Suns. All right. So
you're forgetting you're forgetting one game. December 20th of that season, he outscored the Mavericks by himself in three quarters, 62-61.
Here, I got it. I just didn't mention it. I got the whole list right here. Like, he had 62 in three quarters. So, like, can I say it wasn't expected for him to get 80 points? No. So let me go ahead. We're gonna wrap this up. It's just like I said, when we talk about Kobe and everything, as far as him scoring and him being a ball hog, like, come on, you got to consider the fact that his teammates was being lazy. All right, let's move on. We're gonna switch gears. We've been talking NBA for a lot. We're gonna switch gears to the NFL. We have the playoffs, and of course, with the playoffs, we also had that coaching carousel as well. So, I guess the crash out title will work for you, Mike, because because on the Bills side, Sean McDermott loses his job as the Bills head coach. I think we made mention of that. We did make mention of it on Tuesday. So Sean McDermott is out. The Bills are still looking for their head coach. We do have, if I'm correct, a new head coach for the Baltimore Ravens, Jesse Minton, as well as there is one more that I do not have right now.
We have a candidate for the Bills head coach. I'm not sure if that's been talked about. Philip Rivers. He can't stay away from the league for some reason. I don't know what it is. He wants that pension plan to go for a very long time. I mean, I don't blame him, but it's just crazy how he oversteps all these other people who have had candidacy for coaches. Like speaking of the Bills, no, I'm not even gonna go there.
No. Please, go ahead.
I have a problem with the Bills front office. They are some money.
I gotta hold you there. We got that coming. It is coming.
Okay.
I believe
I got something for them.
I got you. Oh, so that crash out title is going to you. All right. Well, then cool. We got that coming later on. Right now, Mike, you have lead. It's specific in the script. It says, Mike, you have the lead for the coaches carousel. We're going to take about a minute right now to discuss it. Then we're moving on to the playoffs. As far as coaches carousel, out of the news that you've heard, the Ravens head coach hiring, as far as Mike McDaniels being offered to the offense coordinator position so far, but he has been linked to the Bills head coaching position. Tell me what you think, and what's your thoughts behind everything so far?
It's been pretty interesting. I think Sean McDermott deserved to be fired. And not just because of Josh Allen's poor performance in the playoffs, but because it's been 8 years and you haven't gotten it done, and you've put an amazing amount of talent around an amazing elite, from a talent perspective, quarterback, not an elite player at quarterback. But for me, the surprise right now is I thought it was hilarious that Mike McDaniel, was the OC already, and then is already interviewing for a head coaching position. I thought that was hilarious. How you gonna do both at the same time? I just thought that was fun. And then Philip Rivers cutting the line. You know what's funny is Jeff Saturday did the same thing, right? And Jeff Saturday actually got the job and did terrible at it. The league has done wild things. Matt Patricia at one point was an offensive coordinator. It did the worst job as offensive coordinator there's ever been because he's the defensive coordinator. So
don't remind me of those years. Please don't.
It was pretty interesting. I mean, heck, they had a gentleman that went 14-2 and then got fired. You know, so the coaching carousel is always an interesting one. What I'm very interested to see what happens with the Browns. Interestingly enough, they haven't made a hire yet. I don't even know if they made an offer yet. They've made a couple of offers and kind of got rejected. I think Joe Brady is actually interviewing for the Bills position, and I think that he would be a fantastic fit there, being that he was doing so well as offensive coordinator. put a Brian Flores or something like that with him. I know he just got an extension, so I know he's not leaving. But that type of caliber with him, I think would be great. So I'll pass it to you, Jordan.
All right, so this is personally for the Bills. I just have one question. Why you treat Keon Coleman like a girl that you never wanted, but you just went out with her because the boys dared you to? Like, first off, the president the president needs to get fired because you're saying that the coaches made you pick Keon Coleman, but you the president, you the one that decides who goes in and who goes out. I feel bad, Keon Coleman. I'm sorry that they did you that way. I know you didn't do your best. You're still kind of a rook in their eyes. I need you to go your separate ways from the Bills because they're just terrible. And the fact that they're even thinking about Phillip Rivers as a potential head coach candidate, it is crazy. Like Joe Brady being their OC should be the leading candidate, but now Phillip Rivers because of his relationship with Josh Allen, that's who you're going to go with. No. But the Bills are going to continue to have karma for not handling this Coleman situation properly. They've been doing this for years. Like the front office has been just terrible for years, and this is going to be this upcoming year. I'm sorry, I'm just still mad about how that went down. Just imagine you at work, right? And then you hear your boss over speak about you saying that, nah, we don't really want him here anymore. He's a piss poor employee. He XYZ. You hear that, and then you go back to your desk and you come out and you see them. You want to quit right then and there because you know they don't want you. They're just waiting to see you mess up. That's how Keon Coleman feels. He's not gonna want to be there, not gonna want to train camp, not gonna want to do anything, and that's just terrible, especially after you lied to him saying that you wanted him. Like that's why the Bills don't deserve nice things. They're getting a nice stadium, but they don't deserve nice things. They'll never get that nice Super Bowl trophy. Josh Allen will not be that nice elite quarterback, like Mike keeps talking about. Go ahead.
All right, so now I gotta put my Eagles hat on because you got me out here. We were gonna say this for later. It was actually a topic for later, but since you done already opened up the can of worms, Jordan, pay attention, coaching carousel. But since we're here now, we're gonna talk about this Keon Cole situation. I understand both sides of the argument. I understand number one that the pick wasn't necessarily on the head coach or whoever made the selection of it. So I fully understand. I fully understand that the coaches in the room really wanted Keon Coleman. I do fully understand that. And that the front office didn't want him. I get it. But you don't make it better on yourself when you get on the field and you get no separation, bro. And I got him on my dynasty league. And it's hard seeing zeros up there. I got to play that man Mike in a dynasty league, and this man's getting no catches. That's not on the head coaches. That's real. So we gonna stop all this
dynasty leagues. I got bad flashbacks
about front office didn't want him BS because we had to deal with what 3 years of this mess. Sorry, 2 years of this mess. 2 consecutive. I could understand if it was a situation where he was getting the separation, he was getting open, and he was making the plays that he was making. Keon Coleman is not a number one wide receiver, and he was drafted like a number one wide receiver. We talked about quarterbacks and head coaches a lot worse than we talked about Keon Coleman. So let's take this mess away and let's put this where it needs to go. Because if Keon Coleman was an actual wide receiver number one, Josh Allen would not be talked about not being elite. Because he would have somebody getting separation and he would have somebody getting some yardage. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and look at the actual stats of Keon Coleman. Because here's my thing. If we were talking about, say, Lamar and Zay Flowers, that's a different paradigm. Because Zay Flowers is getting separation. You want to know how I know he's getting it? Because he had 2 open 50-yard touchdowns. I can tell you that much. Tell me how many 50-yard touchdowns Keon Coleman got. 1, if that. 1. So please miss me with the whole thing of Keon Coleman. Oh, well, the bosses came through, said you don't want to work, and this, that, and the third. It don't make you want to work. BS. I don't know about y'all, but if I overheard my boss is saying, "Oh, well, they don't know how to work. We didn't really want him here." I tell you one thing, I would show them first who they talking about first, and then I would quit on them. But it's fair. Like, you can't sit here and tell me that Keon Coleman's, like, what everybody's saying about Keon Coleman is not justified. It's justified. This man right now, I think the most he's
I
done.
mean, he had almost 11 yards a clip per reception. I mean, that's still good, even though they didn't throw the ball to him that much.
I got it right here. I have
Your voice, man, your voice.
no, I got it right here. This man in 2025 has 38 catches for 404 yards. 404. And you're supposed to be the number one receiver. You were drafted like a number one receiver. The year before, 29 receptions, 556. And in both years, you only got 4 receiver touchdowns.
19 yards per reception.
I don't care about the yards per reception. Because you want to know why? What did it lead to? Nothing. Bro.
That's not his fault. That's Josh Allen's fault. That's the front office's fault.
No. I'm not sitting here and I'm not taking that excuse because that's an excuse. This man's career stats is something that a real number one would have had.
But this is only his second year. He's barely 22. I'm giving him grace only because he's a second-year receiver. He hasn't had time to really mess with Josh Allen. I mean, they've had healthy scratches. They're trying to teach him a lesson. Meanwhile, the coach getting let go, and now then when old man Rivers are coming back, I'm not gonna put the onus on Keon Coleman for that. That's the front office and the president. It's their fault.
So I've got to take on that. I know Nick want to crash out some more.
And don't worry, I got your title. You go ahead though.
I'm about to give you the title here real quick. I'm gonna have my quick 2 cents and I'll pass it right back to you because I want to hear your quarter's worth of crash out. It's always a great time. What I'll say is this. Keon Coleman has not been who we expected him to be. But I will also say that he hasn't been schemed to be who we expected him to be. Part of that is on Joe Brady. Part of that is on Josh Allen. That's, to Jordan's point, he doesn't have a relationship with him. He has a better relationship with Khalil Shakir. He had a better relationship with Stefon Diggs. He hasn't really built that relationship with Keon Coleman, who hasn't deservedly built the relationship on his end either. But what I think is the bigger problem is actually the GM, Brandon Beane, because Brandon Beane and the Bills had a chance to get Jalen Waddle, and they did not do it. The Miami Dolphins wanted a first rounder. The Bills knew that they were going to be having a late first rounder. To not get Jalen Waddle, to give a legitimate number one to Josh Allen, which although I think Khalil Shakir has made a great argument to be a legit number one, Keon Coleman has made it a pretty good argument to be a number two, maybe even a number three. But to put a Jalen Waddle in that offense, first off, Josh Allen might not. He probably still would have had multiple interceptions and turnovers in the playoffs because that's Josh Allen. That's what he does in the playoffs. He's the James Harden of the NFL. But outside of him being the James Harden of the NFL, which was my take from last week, the reality is that the GM could have improved the team. And he could have improved the team significantly at the trade deadline very easily because he knew the weaknesses that he had. When Keon Coleman was drafted, he reminded me of Kelvin Benjamin from Florida State, who ended up playing for the Bills as well. Not meant to be a separator, meant to be a jump ball type of receiver, and also meant to be a great dynamic route runner. He also reminds me a bit of Alshon Jeffrey, who ran a 4.78 at the combine. Could show you that he couldn't get separation, but then in the NFL, he did get separation because he was schemed open to get separation. The scheme that they're running right now is a lot of backyard lot type of ball, where Josh Allen make a hero ball play or we lose the game. That shouldn't be how you have to play in the NFL nowadays. Part of the reason that they're playing that way, though, I mean, you can partially blame that on Keon Coleman, but you can also primarily blame that on Joe Brady for not leaning in on the run when it mattered, because you have the number one leading rusher in the NFL right there, which is also part of the reason that Keon Coleman hasn't been getting as many
They don't
touches.
let James cook.
They did not let him cook. They didn't let him chef it up, right? Instead, they had him over there doing dishes. So we can't allow that to
They want
be
Josh Allen to
diminished.
be Lamar Jackson so bad.
Right. Well, and the funny part is they're two entirely different players. But I think the issue there is that if you put Keon Coleman's skill set in a different place, I think he shines because he's a big receiver. He's a powerful receiver. He runs pretty good routes, right? He's great in contested catches. He's competitive. He's strong. He can play bully ball. They keep trying to treat him like a speed receiver and have him run go routes. He's not a go route runner. So that's just my, couple takeaways there. But I'll let you finish crashing out. Go ahead.
So here's my thing, and I'm about to get back into it. So we're going to look at this right now. When we look at, and I took two random people that was drafted. I took Ibuka from the Bucks, and I took Smith and Jigma from Seattle. Now, keep in mind, here's my thing. Number one, they're quarterbacks. Would you argue that Josh Allen is essentially, like talent-wise, better than the quarterbacks that are passing those two the ball?
Yes, without question.
Not elite status. I just want you to know. I just want you to say, from a talent perspective, do you believe that Josh Allen is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold?
Absolutely. He's extremely more talented as a player than both of them. But here's the problem with that comparison. I think you're comparing apples and potatoes because
Damn, not even oranges?
Nope, not even oranges. I don't think you're comparing the same type of fruit. The route tree that they're running is entirely different. And Jigba is moving all around the field there. And it took him 2-3 years before he became where he was. He also initially got to learn from Cooper Kupp. Who is Keon Coleman learning from that's helping him to be a better pro to help maximize
Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs didn't teach him a single thing, and Stephon Diggs literally wasn't even there. Stephon Diggs I traded to the Texans the same year, which is why they drafted Keon Coleman.
Stephon was too busy dealing with other women to help.
Right, who matches your previous crash out there. Additionally, so nobody's teaching him how to be a pro at his position, right? The right way. That's a number one for real. The second thing there is that the reason that Ibuka is not a good comparison is that Ibuka is primarily a slot receiver, and he's the third receiver on a team that has Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and he's the third receiver. So he's not having to play. He's not having to face the number one boundary corner. He's not facing the number one or the number two corner. He's facing potentially a number one slot corner, and most teams don't even have a number one slot corner. Keon Coleman is having to play outside receiver, running streak routes and running quick outs with an offense that's breaking down because Josh Allen holds on to the ball too long, playing backyard ball, and then he's not schemed to be open. And then further to Jordan's point, when he is open, he's getting 11 yards per catch, which tells us that he should have more usage as opposed to less usage. So I don't think that those are fair comparisons. Now, if you give me some different people that are playing in a similar setting to Keon Coleman there, then I think we can have a different conversation. But that's not an apples to apples comparison at all with those two that you gave. But I will concede that both of those two are better than Keon Coleman. Absolutely.
Yeah. We're like, I'm not saying that Keon Coleman is anywhere up there, but I'm saying, like, here's my thing. If you have separation, and what I'm saying is, because let's be honest, if we're looking at the Buffalo Bills, who is the number one corner going to go to? It's going to go to Shakir because he's been more of an impact player all year long than Keon Coleman. And Keon Coleman was drafted higher than him. He should be able to get separation in order to get catches. I'm going to bring up some more. I'm going to bring up again, like I said, when we talk about number one receivers, then let's look at Roman Dunze. Like, we can say he learned under who? He learned under what is his name? He's with the Chargers now. He went back to the Chargers.
You talking about Keenan Allen?
Yeah, he learned from Keenan Allen. But again, he had to get separation. Now, also keep in mind, Rome missed a couple games due to injury. But Keon Coleman has been available in a lot of games. And you mean to tell me outside of week one that he went over 100 yards He went over 100 yards in week 1. But outside of that, he hasn't been able to top what? Because now we're looking at an average of maybe 30 yards a game. And I might be I might be giving them too much credit on 30 yards a game. Now,
a lot of people would compare Keon Coleman, I would say, to Drake London from the Falcons. He may not be the one, but maybe like the 2 or 3. Like you said, big receiver, more of kind of like end zone, jump up for the ball, touchdown. Kind of like Megatron was with the jump ball, but not obviously we're not comparing it to Megatron. That's stupid. But as far as body type, I'm talking about body type.
Here. I'm not trying to hear it. You're supposed to be the strong receiver with strong hands. And I've watched some of these games. Keon Coleman has had some egregious drops. They about as bad as A.J. Brown. To which A.J. Brown, I still ain't forgive you for those drops in the playoffs. We're going to talk about that another later.
I forgive him for the ones against the Chargers, but we'll leave that alone.
Ain't worried about that one either, because we ended up making the playoffs anyway. I'm talking about in the playoffs, where it actually mattered, where you should be winning your almost $100 million contract. But I digress. We're going to move on from that. Here's my thing. Here's my whole take on Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman has to learn how to get separation, because if you move on to a different setting, what is going to prevent you from doing the same thing? This is the issue, like
a team that wants them.
That George Pickens had, because George Pickens was a crash out, and he was getting unnecessary fouls. Same thing with DK Metcalf. I don't know how the hell the Steelers decided to trade for DK Metcalf, and DK had his own issues with Seattle. But I digress. Mike, I'm leaving him alone. But my thing is, you have issues that you have to work on the field. If you can't get separation, bro, there's no way. They played one less game than Keon Coleman and almost has 200 yards better than him. He was out to injury and has 200 yards more. So I'm not trying to hear the issue of, Keon Coleman, the managers was tough on him, so he decided he wanted to quit on the team. I'm not trying to hear that. If you got a manager or a CEO or somebody from a front office that's doubting you and doubting your ability to play, that should be your motivation to do much better. It should be your motivation to be less than average. I could go out there and get 400 yards in 13 games. Like, come on, bro. Like, we got to keep fair. Like, we get on Josh Allen about throwing picks and holding on to the ball too long. But let's be fair. If Keon Coleman was getting separation, Josh Allen would have somebody to throw to.
He would still hold on the ball because he wants to be the hero.
No. Again, I have not heard of a quarterback that would hold on to the ball knowing that a man is wide open. I'm sorry. Like, if you're getting separation, I haven't heard about it. Now, we do have the Jalen Hurts thing where Jalen Hurts did miss a couple wide open people, but that's because Hurts had his reads off a little bit. Also, he's trying to force feed A.J. Brown. We gonna leave that alone. Again, if Josh Allen, I know Josh Allen, as far as his reads, Keon Coleman is top 2. There's no way you're passing the ball James Cooks first, because James Cooks is coming out of the flat.
If Josh Allen could be his own receiver, he would.
I doubt that.
Yes, he would.
Still, read-wise, you and I both know, all 3 of us know, when we come read-wise, it's going to be Shakir, then Keon Coleman. I'm sorry. It's going to be Shakir, Kincaid, then Coleman. Even though it should be Shakir, Coleman, Kincaid.
And then Knox.
But again, if you were getting the separation, let's even say Shakir was number 1 because you delegated number 1 to him. If you were getting separation, this is not a problem. Because here's my thing. When the Bucs were healthy, Mike Evans had no problem getting separation. Chris Godwin was getting separation, and he was serving as a number 2, and he's a number 1. Devontae Smith, when we go to Philly, A.J. Brown gets a double team. Devontae Smith gets separation. Jahan Dotson gets separation, and he's a number 3 option. Kyle Katerra, when he subs in for he gets separation. So I'm not trying to hear this whole managers didn't, the front office didn't believe him. Cut that out. let's move on because I done earned my crash out title. We got to move on. We got to get the championships around. All right. The conference championships are here. We have the following. Y'all already know who plays out. It's New England and Denver. New England and Denver that's going to come through. Number one. And then we have the rubber match for Seattle and the Rams. I'm going to go ahead and start on the picks. And then, Mike, I'll go to you for picks. And then, Jordan, I'm coming to you last. All right. First things first, when we talk Seattle versus the Rams, this is going to be a good match. I think it's going to be a lot of high-scoring affair. Last one was, I believe, like 38-35 or something like that, with Seattle getting the win. It might be a bit more. All I know is, it was 36-35. I apologize. Because Rams scored, they got the 1 point. Seattle scored, got 2 points for the win. So I don't think it's going to be another classic like that. I do believe it's going to be something a bit lower. I'm going to go 30-24. Not only 30-28. Seattle over the Rams. So that's what I'll go with. I'm going to write this down real quick. 30-28. Then when we go to Denver over New England, I don't know. I don't know how this matchup plays out because you have two of the best defenses in the AFC going at it, considering the Texans are out. So when we look at the teams, they have good defenses. Denver's will clear New England's, but the problem resides with the quarterbacks. I don't trust Drake May at all. There's no way. In 2 playoff games, Drake May has been abysmal in 2 playoff games. If he plays against any other quarterbacks, like Mike said this in an earlier podcast episode, if the Chargers had a better O-line and CJ Stroud had healthy receivers, the Patriots lose. They're not even in this game. So, and then when we look on the other side, you have Stidham, who is 1-3 in 4 starts. Now, I believe Sean Payton he has faith in him. And I believe that that's what all head coaches are going to do. But when we talk about the AFC championship and this, I don't know how prepared Sean Payton's going to have them. I put the edge towards the Patriots, though. I do have them winning. I do believe we're in line for a Patriots-Seattle rematch. Mike's going to disagree with me on the Rams take because he has the Rams winning. But I think it's going to be a Pats-Broncos victory. I think it's going to be low scoring. Give me 17-14 Pats over Broncos. That's what I think. I think that's a fair scoring. That's where I have it. Mike, I'm gonna pass it off to you. What do you think? Where do you think we're going with this?
I don't think those are bad takes. All right, I don't think that those were bad takes. I do think that I think the Patriots beat the Broncos, and I think they beat them by at least 10 points. I've got it being the score of 28-17 final score, with the Patriots winning. I think they've had the easiest path to the Super Bowl in the history of the world. It's been excessive. I've never seen where in the first round of the playoffs, you play a team with no left tackle and no right tackle. In the second round of the playoff, you play a quarterback with no wide receivers in the snow. And then in the third round of the playoffs, you play a backup quarterback with 4 starts to his name. That seems like a path to the Super Bowl for me. It almost reminds me of Alabama's schedule for next year, but I digress. But that being said, I think that I got them winning 28-17. I do have the Rams beating the Seahawks. The Seahawks have impressed me, though. I didn't think they were going to dominate the 49ers the way that they did. I was highly impressed with that. Part of the reason I thought that they were going to win, though, which I did call that victory, was because of the injury to George Kittle. The Rams are coming in pretty healthy, though, comparatively, right? as are the Seahawks. I think it's going to be a hell of a game, to be honest with you. But I trust Matthew Stafford more than I trust Sam Darnold. That's what it comes down to. I trust Matthew Stafford more than I trust Sam Darnold. So for me, I think that Matthew Stafford is going to lead them to victory. I think they only win by 3 though. I think the final score is 27-24. Um, I could see it being a much higher scoring game, like a 44-41 type of game, but I also respect the defenses. The Rams have fantastic defensive line. Jared Verse is a second team All-Pro, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Cameron Kitchens back there as a defensive back has been crushing it this year. Emmanuel Forbes has had a resurgency in his career. Um, they're stout and they're well coached. And McVay knows how to win, and he's won a title before. McDonald has not won a title before, and I think it comes down to a couple of key positions. For example, the tight end for the Rams came back last week. He could have a hell of a game. Devontae Adams healthy, that's a huge victory. Puka Nakua. Puka Nakua is balanced out with Jackson Smith and Jigba. To be honest, I can't figure out this year who's the better receiver, but I do think Puka has the nod. Kyron Williams, if Kyron Williams shows up, because Kyron Williams has been inconsistent this year, if Kyron Williams shows up, I think the Rams can definitely win. But I like 27-24, but probably my gut is telling me to say 35-30. So that's going to be the score I'm going to say. 35-30 Rams over Seahawks. I got Rams going to the Super Bowl in another rematch. The funny part is the Patriots have been in so many Super Bowls that it's a rematch either way, with the Rams there. So that's what I have going, and that's my takeaway. I'll pass it to you, Jordan.
All right. So one thing I noticed is that the Broncos have the best offensive line in the league. You're comparing that to the Texans, which is poor, as they were 28th. That's why they were having so much trouble keeping CJ Stroud from getting sacked and getting picked off. So I think that's going to help the Broncos, even though Jarrett Stidham didn't get that much burn. He's still a tall quarterback at 6'3". He'll have his chances to get his throws off, and he's a lot more nimble than people will give them credit for. And I still think they're a cohesive unit, even without Bo Nix. They kept him at bay for most of the season. So I got the Broncos narrowing the win over the Patriots 24-23. I think it might be a field goal by Will Lutz, that Sean Payton Will Lutz relationship. As far as the Rams and the Seahawks, I got the Seahawks winning against the Rams. I got them winning 27-21. I just think the Seahawks, when it comes to third matches, they beat the 49ers like crazy. I think they're going to do the same things to the Rams. They're going to hold the fort down. So we're probably going to have Broncos, Seahawks, rematch of Super Bowl.
All right. So real quick, because I didn't get yours, Jordan. You got Seattle winning what? 27-21?
Yes, over the Rams.
All right. And then Broncos, Pats, you have
Broncos 24, Patriots 23.
Gosh, you got a close one. So you got Broncos, Rams matchup.
Broncos, Seahawks.
Broncos, Seahawks.
Yep.
All right. So, all right. I think I got all of it there. All right. That's our whistle for today, but the game never really ends. Thank you for spending your time with us, sharing opinions, passion, and a love for the sports that goes beyond the scoreboard. If you like what you heard, subscribe, follow, and join the conversation. Until next time, stay competitive, stay curious, and keep loving the game. This is Squad Sportcast. We'll see you guys on the next play.